Incoming transmission standby. Welcome to the Nod News Network. Russian petroleum products flow to the EU, Politico. Ukraine's top economic advisor calls on the West to close the sanctions gap. The Ukrainian president's top economic advisor has called on Western countries to strengthen sanctions against Russia, arguing that current restrictions allow third countries such as India, China, and Turkey to refine crude oil exported by Moscow and resell it without restrictions. In an interview with Politico on Wednesday, Oleg Yushchenko called on EU, British, and US officials to close loopholes used to circumvent sanctions imposed on Moscow over the Ukraine conflict. Assistant to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia's state-owned energy companies can still ship crude oil to countries that have not signed Western sanctions. The oil is then refined into gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and other fuels before being sold on the global market. The ceiling price for Russia's seaborne oil exports of $60 per barrel set by the EU and G7 countries is supposed to prevent this from happening. However, in response, Russia stopped exporting to countries applying this mechanism and turned to the Asian market. Yushchenko noted that India, the world's third-largest importer and consumer of crude oil, has increased its oil purchases from Russia over the past year. Before the military conflict, they bought Russian oil, but the level of their imports was very low, only about 1% of their oil imports, he explained. It's now almost 40%, which is a really dramatic change. Earlier this week, Oil Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said India would continue to buy crude oil from any source that can provide shipments at the lowest price. According to the assistant to the president of Ukraine, Kiev hopes to receive support from G7 countries to reduce the ceiling price to only $30 per barrel. Last year, Poland and the Baltic states pushed for a lower price cap, but other EU members opposed the proposal. This has been the Nod News Network. Transmission complete.